G'day everyone. Today on Garage It Yourself, we're going to be doing a test to see if there's any difference between chemical paint strippers and where you buy them from. So let's get into that. Welcome back to Garage It Yourself everyone, the channel dedicated to the DIY car enthusiast doing customization or restoration on a budget. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a test to see if there's any difference between paint strippers and where you buy them from. And you may be thinking, well, you know, paint stripper, it strips paint. It does what it says on the tin job. Well, that may have been true in the 70s and 80s, but due to environmental laws changing around the world over the decades, the chemicals that they're using these days aren't as aggressive as what they used to be. And you also have to keep in mind that there's many different types of paint out there. You have enamels, acrylics, epoxies, polyesters, and then there's also a difference between the sector in which they're utilized: domestic, automotive, industrial, and then specialty, like say medical, and even like in space, any coating of that variety. So they're all chemically formulated quite differently. So you can't expect a paint stripper to be able to work across the board on everything. Like I said, maybe back in the 70s and 80s you could, because the chemicals used were a lot more aggressive. But these days that's not the case. So you have to formulate the paint stripper specifically towards a certain type of paint that you want to get off. So with that in mind, I've got 3 different types of chemical paint stripper. This one bought at the local hardware store, so that can be your Home Depot, your B&Q, your Mitre 10, or your independent hardware store. Then you have from your automotive store, so say your AutoZone, your O'Reilly's, your Halfords, and so on and so forth. And then this one is from a actual paint supplier, so companies out there that they actually supply the body shops and panel shops with all of their supplies. So to me this is like more of a professional grade paint stripper than what the other two would be. Okay, so with that in mind, what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is take one of my test spray out panels. I've already given it a bit of a sanding with 240 grit paper. This just helps the chemicals to bite into the paint instead of having a smooth surface, and sectioned it off so that we can have the 3 different types on there. I'll do it on time-lapse, and I'll leave them on there for approximately 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and see how easily it scrapes off. Okay, so time-lapse now whilst I put everything on there. Right, so let's try the hardware store first. Yeah, so I'm not sure if like that, maybe it's softened it a bit, so that the scraper is actually like digging into it, but that could also just be the blade just being able to scrape it off. Anyway, let's try the automotive store one. Seems a little bit better, not much though. And all it's really doing is just taking off the clear coat. It's not getting down to the colour at all. So yeah, so that's not very good. And I don't think I'll have to do much work on the professional grade stuff. Wow. And I'm not hardly pressing. Well, that certainly took the clear coat off. And wow. Righto. Well, that certainly seems pretty definitive on which one worked best. I'm not overly surprised because having worked in panel shops in the past, the professional stuff, like just it works really well. To be perfectly honest, this particular brand, not overly happy with it. I mean, sure, it worked better than what these two did, but from working in panel shops in the past with other brands, they just seem to would have done a better job than what this one did. But this one still did like pretty darn good compared to the other two. And it's also dependent on how many layers of paint are actually on your car. It could take a good few coats of using the paint stripper to actually get everything off down to bare metal. But again, it did so much better than what the other two did. So we really have like a clear winner here. The only other thing to consider to finish the video out is the pricing. So both of these are 1 litres, and this is a 4 litre can. The hardware store, that was $26 for the litre. The automotive store, that was $30 for the litre. And then the professional stuff was $72 for 4 litres. So if my maths is correct, that makes it $18 per litre. So not only did it do a much better job than what these two did, but it's also more than $10, or certainly more than $10 cheaper than the automotive store, almost $10 cheaper per litre than the hardware store bought stuff. So yeah, there you go. We have a winner. Now, if you like the video, then please hit the like button. If you like the channel and what I get up to, then please subscribe. And if you think my channel is something that friends, family, anyone else would be interested, then please share it around. And yeah, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I shall leave these sitting here whilst the banners for the next 20 seconds come up on that side of the screen. So, catch you later.